Hi, I'm Shifra, and today I want to talk about the unfolding process of Geula and chaos. Okay, so we all know that the world is generating a tremendous amount of chaos right now, and we're all feeling that chaos in one way or another. To some people, it's very disturbing, and actually, I'm here to help. So, there's a function to chaos, there's a purpose to chaos, and there's, in this case, the chaos has a very, very strong connection to the unfolding process of Geula. So, taking a step back, I want to mention the very first verse of the Torah, or the first two verses, and how they fit in here. So the Torah starts with Bereshis bara Elokim es hashamayim ve'es haaretz. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. V'haaretz haisa tohu vavohu v'choshech al pnei hatahom. And the world was in a state of what's called tohu vavohu, which is chaos and void. And there was darkness on the face of the earth. V'ruach Elokim merachepes al pnei hamayim. And the Spirit of God was hovering on the face of the waters. So the sages say that the Spirit of God refers to something very specific, and that is something called Rucho Shel Melech HaMashiach. This is the spirit of the Messianic Redeemer, of Mashiach, and obviously the entire Geula. So that's the very beginning of creation. And now we are very, very close to the end. Not the end of the world, not destruction or devastation. It certainly doesn't have to be like that. But we are in the final stages, you could call it transition, of a cosmic birth process into the days of Mashiach in actuality. So one of the principles of authentic Kabbalah and Torah is that everything that gets created, whether it's in your life or whether in the world, whether it's God creating, you creating, anyone creating, there are three stages in the process. The first stage is the vision. Without a vision, nothing really happens. The final stage, the third stage, is the vision manifested. That's a new reality. In between, there's a process. The process usually takes a long time for reasons too deep to get into in this short video, but it's complicated and it's the building stage. We've been in that building stage now for thousands of years. We are really, really, really very close to the end at this point. And we need to understand, because things, as in transition and birth, things happen faster and faster when you get close to the end. Think of an old reel-to-reel where the tape goes like faster and faster as you go along. So time is actually feeling faster and events are happening faster. And of course that creates more chaos, more tohu. I'm going to be talking more about this idea of chaos and tohu in future videos. But for now, let's say that the purpose of the chaos that we're experiencing is Rucho Shel Melech HaMashiach, is to bring about a manifestation of Geula, of the Messianic era of Mashiach. And what is the function of chaos? So chaos is a very, very interesting idea. First of all, it's a very powerful spiritual force, believe it or not. We'll talk more about that again at a future time. But for something, and Kabbalah explains this, for something to change, to transform from one state of being to a very different one, there needs to be a space of chaos or breakdown in between. Or as some very wise mentors will say, nothing changes until you do. So to explain this a little bit more, I want to use the example of metamorphosis. Everything, by the way, in our physical world is what Torah calls a mashal, or a parable, an analogy. It's a living analogy. That includes you and your life too. It's very mysterious, very mystical. But one of the most profound analogies that was somehow implanted in this world that we really need to look at right now is the analogy of metamorphosis, the reality of metamorphosis, which is an analogy for the process that we have entered into at this point. So metamorphosis specifically refers to the process of a caterpillar as it transforms into a butterfly. What is that? There's this crawling worm-like creature. Okay, it's a little fuzzy and cute maybe, but ultimately it transforms into a kind of flying fairy. What's the process? So that's the vision, and the vision manifested when the butterfly emerges from the cocoon. What's the process of the transformation? The caterpillar actually melts down into gel. You can look this up if you don't believe me. It melts down into gel. It's not dying. It's just melting, which is a kind of chaotic disturbance in its previous structure. Very chaotic because it completely melts down. At some point, certain cells in the caterpillar, which some people have called imaginal cells, trigger the DNA, and it's the same DNA in the caterpillar and the butterfly, trigger the DNA to reform its own being into the form of this beautiful flying fairy, the butterfly. So this has very deep application to us here and now. Metamorphosis, the chaos, is designed to pull us apart, to move aside our fixed ways of being, the way we believed life always would be. It can be very disturbing, of course, because we're all very attached to the way we see things. In fact, that's a topic for another discussion, but the identity, the ego-based identity, that's basically what keeps it alive. It's attachment to the way things have always been and the way things will always be. So when chaos enters in, when things become unpredictable, when things are shaken up, when we're seeing things we never expected to see, when we are experiencing things that we weren't brought up to experience, so that causes a kind of meltdown. And the meltdown is the prelude to a rebirth, not leaving your body, hopefully, and coming back in another one, but a rebirth of your own being. There's a part of you that knows how to make this happen. It's not a conscious part, most probably, not yet. But for now, I want to leave you with this thought that you don't have to resist the chaos. It's the resistance to the chaos that causes the discomfort. In fact, many healers say that resistance causes all of the symptoms that we experience. There are sources for this in authentic Kabbalah as well. But if you just allow for the possibility for now that the chaos is actually melting something down, providing an opportunity to re-emerge in a different, deeper form, that can give you a tremendous amount of peace where before you might have felt disturbed. And if you want to know more about exactly how to do this, if you want to be supported and guided through this process, stay tuned for my upcoming program, Light Out of Darkness, Purpose and Miracles in Chaotic Times. We'll be covering this in great depth and not just theoretically, practical tools, powerful tools and support to actually implement these things in your life. If you want to be on my mailing list and make sure that you hear about that program and other programs when they come out, you can go to my website, www.gateofunity.com, sign up for my three-part free Kabbalah mini course, Authentic Kabbalah Secrets to Living a Miraculous Life, and stay tuned. What's coming is really, really good. And by the way, how you interact with it, what you know, what you do, what you say, what you feel even, can make a tremendous difference in how things unfold in your life and actually how things unfold in the world at large. So looking forward to seeing you soon. Love and blessings from Jerusalem.